What's going on, everybody? My name is Leo. I run a fairly new company called MudkipSalesCT. Basically, I've been working on building the business to sell um, Pokemon cards, specifically sealed on my site, which I've had running for a couple months. I've been doing most of my social media on Instagram, not posting all too regularly. This is a secondary hobby for me that I am trying to build into a more robust business. But I do work a 9 to 5 as a nurse practitioner at a private practice. So haven't had a huge amount of time, but I'm definitely trying to allocate more time as I build this out. I'm not typically one to be in front of the camera, so I've been focusing more on Instagram, where I post more reels and Instagram posts, but not so much recording myself. But I know what I've seen in a lot of other avenues is that building a brand requires social media and producing some level of long term or long format content. So just trying to slowly delve into that. So I figured I'd do a basic video today, not scripted, really trying to focus on just practicing getting on the camera and things like that. So today I kind of wanted just to go over some couple of products, some that I've already purchased recently, some that I tried to purchase or I'm looking to try and purchase, and some that I think I will try and focus on now or in the near future. So the first thing I have up here is the Mega Gardevoir SIR from Mega Evolution. Personally, I feel this is the best card in the set, but like most cards and most sets when they first came out, they are ridiculously expensive and not worth purchasing off the beginning. You can see here that the price for this card was $550 at, or realistically at pre-release, instantly dropped down to under 300, and then it kind of slowly trended down quite a bit now. So if you look at it, the 3 month um, price change is 61% down. More specifically, on the 1 month, you're only about 5.5% down. The reason why I picked it up recently, I actually just ordered it at $205 with shipping included. It was looking like it was starting to level out at about that $205 mark. It looked like the market kind of wanted to keep it above 200. I think, being one of the main chase cards, um, that people really were trying to start to buy in. This spike was really more for the TCG player sale that they had. That was why there were so many purchases there. I also feel like that may have contributed partly to the plateau. You can start to see that it went up a little bit, peaked at about 210, just now dropped down to 209. So I bought it at 200 realistically plus the $5 shipping, so 205 total, because I felt like, I don't know if it's going to drop below 200. If it does, that's okay too. You can't always time the highs and the lows. You just got to buy in when you feel it was best for you. I feel in the long term that this card will do really well. The copy I will look or that I purchased, I personally feel like it will grade a 10. It's not a card that I'm looking to flip for profit. I wanted to get a copy that would hopefully grade a 10 because I want to keep it in my personal collection. Um, Ideally in a PSA 10. Even if I were to get it in a PSA 9, I could keep it in the personal collection. Or I think by the time that it gets back from PSA, which would be, 3 months down the line, the card will definitely have increased in price. That if I decided that I wanted to sell it at the PSA 9 price at that point, even including what I put into grading, it will have covered the cost of what I paid for it raw, and then I could either sell it at the 9 and put it towards other things, or maybe put it into picking up another copy of it raw and trying to grade it again. This new copy. For right now, I have that coming in on Thursday, and then I'll be sending it out to PSA, and then we'll see in a few months what we get there. When I've looked at it, definitely looks like it's got a good rate for 10s. So hopefully that comes back, what I'm hoping for. One of the other recent pickups um, I got was a Lost Origin booster box. Let me fix this real quick. All right. So, as you can see here, it's been on the downtrend realistically since end of September, beginning of November. I picked it up at a card show recently for the price was 640. I did put some trades towards it, but the sticker price was 640. Now, marketplace hasn't even quite dropped to that point yet, so I bought in at a pretty good price. I always try and look at least the 1 year mark and kind of see where you're at as far as pricing goes. If you're looking to pick up or buy into a what you believe a strong product, you'll typically see this kind of trend where you're gonna have setting highs. Eventually, it will drop down, but ideally, when it drops down, it is setting a higher low than its previous low. So as you can see here, we were at about 391, then it peaks up to about 540 or so, but then the next low is 492, which is well below the previous low. Now, we had a peak here of about 823. I figured that, this last low was 492. And just based of that, I was thinking, realistically, 600 might be the absolute low that this would probably go to before it ramps back up again. Again, it could go lower, may not even get to that point. But when I was able to get it for 640, I figured let me pick it up. I didn't have one in my personal collection, so I felt like that was a good time to buy in. Now, this was for me just to put in my personal collection. I didn't have one yet, but if you were looking to invest and get a bigger position as far as Lost Argent goes, um, same mentality applies. Buy in at a good price, hold for when you feel makes sense for you to sell down the line, or put it towards other investments. Or if you're looking to sell or place on the site or whatever it might be, again, same mentality, pick up at a good price, hold, and then sell it down the line. So that's kind of where I picked up that. I think Lost Origin is an absolutely strong set. Great cards in it, specifically that Giratina. So I felt like that was a good time to pick that up. So those were the two most recent pickups I've had for my personal collection. The same day that I was at the card show, I also had the Brilliant Stars booster box that I wanted to pick up as well. Um, I really had a hard time finding this at the card show. Um, in the entire show, I only managed to come across one of these, and of course, the vendor actually had picked it up from a customer recently that same day, and was going to actually just keep it for themselves in their personal collection. They did have it priced at 450, which at that time was a pretty good price. As you can see here, it went down all the way to 417. I feel like that was a little bit low as far as sales go. But you can see it kind of dropped from 490 straight down to 417, but then right at the TCG player sale bounced right back up to 470, and now we're already back almost to 500. So I felt like buying at that 450 was going to be a really good price, and it would have been. I would have bought it towards the low period, right in this pretty significant dip here. It's already back up to 500, which I still feel like it's a good price. I definitely missed out on that low, but again, you really can't really perfectly time things, and sometimes you just can't find what you're looking for when you need it. But I still feel like this set Half 500 is a pretty good pickup. It's got a good Charizard V Altar as its main chase, plus a nice, robust trainer gallery set of cards. So I still feel like this is a good pickup. If I go to another card show, or come across anyone who's looking to do trades or selling it at a decent price, I may still buy into this because I don't have one for myself. So I definitely feel like this is something that is worthwhile keeping an eye on as we get out of the holiday season and into the new year. We are likely to see a gain, even if it's a moderate gain on the market. So right now might be the best time to pick up specifically Sword and Shield booster boxes because they are likely to go back up again and maybe not set to the same highs that we were seeing at the peak of this market, but more than they are now. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And then the other product that I wanted to touch base on was the Fusion Strike booster box. Um, this is definitely one of the more expensive boxes of the Sword and Shield era. I believe it's still the second highest next to the Evolving Skies. So this is one that really was a little bit more than I was looking to spend. Um, if I had found a good price on one, I definitely would have picked it up when I was there. But I was really focusing more on the Lost Origin and Brilliant Stars booster boxes. But as you can see here, we peaked at about just over $1,000, and then it's gone down about 11%, 11.5% in the last 3 months, and about 13% in the last month. And we are still dropping. We are now down to $857. So going back to that same mentality, you can still see the same exact trend here really perfectly. You got rises and then falls, and then rising setting new lows. So you can see here the last low was at about $717. We are now at 857. So being a really strong SEP that people believe in, I don't think it's going to drop down realistically any lower than probably 800. That's probably the lowest I think it's going to go before it goes back up again. So I definitely feel like if you can pick it up, honestly, right now in 850, 840, I would definitely pick it up. You can see if it might go a little bit longer. We have no idea if this downtrend in the market is going to continue. Are we going to snap back out during the holidays? It's not been following the same trends as we see normally, but I feel like this is a good time to pick this box up because it absolutely could slingshot back above $900, $1,000 pretty easy. So that's just some of the things that I've been focusing on from a personal collector perspective. None of these things would be something that I would be purchasing as far as selling on the website or anything like that. Myself being a smaller um, business so far, I found that the few booster boxes that I've picked up in collections that I've bought um, and I've put on the site, booster boxes being such a high price item, especially now in the downturning market, don't really sell all that well. So they're not really items that I'm looking to move because of the fact that I'm picking them up at a percentage and I'm then selling them on the website. I always try and sell under market, but that doesn't leave a whole lot of margin to keep myself at least at cost. So I find it's better to put that towards items like booster bundles, uh, blisters, sleeve packs, things like that. I'm hoping that in the coming future, especially with the upcoming Ascended Heroes set, that I may be able to come into at least some small amount of product at a good price that I am hoping to offer on the site, ideally at MSRP or just slightly above. Now, this would be a very, very small amount, something that I would probably do as a lottery, specifically to members on my site that have purchased in the past. I haven't really quite figured out how I'm going to do it. I do have a base tier system, depending on how much spend a customer has done through my website. And I can always adjust that before I set any kind of rules as far as how these prices would go. So I may do something along the lines of someone who's like a level 2 seller on my site, maybe someone who's purchased at least $500. Um, if they are looking to pick up one of the items that I get, and I'm selling at about MSRP or just above, I would do a random draw for the individuals who hit that criteria. And then if you're chosen, I would be able to provide you those one single item per person for whatever I get. Again, like I said, it's not going to be a lot. I'm working through a program that I put in and I purchase and I sell, and I hopefully develop some level of ability to get some kind of allocation to purchase for myself that I can then sell at a good price to customers that I hope to do and build over time. And then eventually I plan to do something similar, hopefully, as the market starts to kind of recorrect and downtrend, and more individuals who are here um, looking for more quick turnaround leave the hobby. I'll be able to try and pick up some of that, maybe down the line develop some level of connection to get my own distribution. Again, that is far down the line. So trying to do whatever I can to try and get some good product out to the customers. So if this is something that you guys might be interested in, definitely leave me a comment there. Like, subscribe. You can always follow me on the Instagram, same exact name there. Gonna keep trying to focus on this kind of content, long form content where I get a little bit more comfortable with just talking into the camera about different topics. I definitely look to or plan to do things like how I developed my LLC, what that required, things like Nexus and taxes for business, where I started from TCG Player and eBay, how I source product, all different kinds of stuff. I have a lot of different kind of ideas that I'm looking to do. But this was kind of a spur of the moment video that I just kind of thought about just to kind of get started. Again, my name is Leo. I run MudkipSalesCT. You can always take a look at my site right now. I don't have a lot of product because I've been focusing on stuff on the back end to try and see if I can acquire some of those Ascended Heroes products for the beginning of next year. So we'll see how that goes. Leave me a comment, and I look forward to getting back on here shortly. Thanks, guys. Bye.